Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It's your man Confidence, and we're doing a special video today. Let me sip some of my tea real quick. I got the MPC lit up here, man. You know what that means, okay? You know I don't really get on this classic machine that often anymore, but I found some chops, and I know everybody likes when I do the videos with the chops, how I put it together, how I break it down. So why not share that with my friends out there online, okay? So in relation to the sounds on these pads, it also is related to the video I did the other week, top 3 favorite DJ Premier tracks. One of those was Love Is Gone by Jazzo. Well, King's, who was that? The Immobiliare. And I mean, that's one of my favorite Premier samples that he cut up, man. He took it to the next level. And I've listened to that track at various points over the years, and I tried to sample more parts to it. I couldn't really do anything that I liked. But this time, I came back to it yet again, and now I've had success. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, on top of that, I ended up doing a 4-bar loop for this, and I normally don't do 4-bar loops because it's more work. Now, I do enough work outside of 4 bars that I don't always need 4 bars, whether it be a 2-bar sequence, right, if I'm chopping, or layering, right? It's a lot of work, finding the right sounds, formulating it, sequencing it. But the reason I did 4 bars for this because I was able to find enough sounds to put together a sequence that I thought was at a high level. So I went with it. At the end of the day, if you can do it at a high level, it's only going to be that much more better, okay? So that's what I did. So I got about, let's see, 4, 8, 12, 13 chops on here. Normally I do like 6 to 8 on a 2-bar loop. And then, I loop it 4 bars and layer it if I got like a 4-bar loop to layer or something. But 4, 8, 12, 13 chops. Now, these aren't going to be chops that are just going to go back to back to back. I've done videos about that. In fact, let me change the poly to mono. There's going to be space in this sequence in between chops because chops are not this. These aren't chops making a beat. That doesn't do it. Just sample the whole fucking thing and just play it once because that's all you're doing, okay? So remember that's number 1. Because over the years, for so many years, I had to chop this up real quick. Anybody listening out there, don't ever do that because you're not chopping any sounds. We don't know how short those chops are, really. I mean, yeah, okay, they sound a little short on the pad, but it's hard to tell because you're going right into the next one. You don't really fully know. So, bottom line, always make sure there's some space in between your chops. At least one. Just do one. Just do one. Then I know that you actually chop something. That's my definition. That's my meaning. So, let me show you if I had no space in these chops, okay? This is what it would sound like. I mean, you can hear it's not even on beat. So if they were on beat and you're doing this, that means it's like not even really anything choppy going on. That's the way I see it. But if you had some space and the drums and the bass and, you kind of find like that groove, it's going to give it a choppy, like for me, I'm not doing like a straight up like DJ Premier style. I'm doing my style the way I chop in sequence, okay? Yes, you could say I borrowed from him because of that style. Yes, I certainly have. and I'm doing my thing with it. I'm not doing what he does to it. I'm doing it my way. Okay, so the more you do it, the better you will develop your own style and sound with the samples. How can I not give credit to DJ Premier? He defined my music listening as a youth. So I'm giving back with my sound, my style, merged with him. And NP Rock, of course. I consider myself like a hybrid between those two. And then I take elements and I do my thing with it to make it more my sound. Because people that know me know that I didn't even realize that I do have a sort of a sound, a style. And some people know that from me, which is kind of cool. And that's ultimately what you want at the end of the day. The more you listen to a producer, the more you hear that sound, because it's consistent. All right, so let's get on to it. Here's what I did with the chops. I'm gonna play them separately and then play them with the beat, with the drums. See, I can't remember in my head. Ready? I gotta remember in my head. All right, so how many spaces were there? Hold on. There was almost a space right there, a little one. Space. Space. It was like 2 spaces. I think I put these together at a high level. After all these years of trying to sample some of these sounds, I mean, there's a lot of sounds that I took, and then from there, I narrow it down. I'm like, okay, no, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. All right, this one works. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. This works. And then I just shrink all the sounds down to the core of what I want. But when you listen to the track, I go through the whole thing, start to finish. I take what I think will work, what sounds good, and then once I start formulating, I'll start deleting. And I get my core sounds, and then I start coming up with a sequence around what's gonna work. Like as you can hear with these sounds, they all go from one to the next. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, if you just listen like to your ear, you can hear that these sounds are pleasing to the ear. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Ooh. It all is kind of like a melody. I made a melody with the sounds. Think of it like that. At the end of the day, I made a melody with the chops. And that's what you want to do. That's how you'll know that it works, right? When you play the piano or any instrument, if you hit some notes and then you hit another note, if it don't sound pleasing to the ear, then you hit the wrong note and it's not in the right key, so it's not going to work with your sequence. Same thing with this. Like if I can randomly find another notes that don't go together, does that go together? If I were to like, I mean, it's okay. It's not bad. It's not great. Wait. Let me start with another note other than this. Maybe not. lot of these blend nicely. So in this instance, I wouldn't say like, oh, these are really off. But I will say that you still want to make sure they start the best way they can. I feel like this is the starting note of the whole sequence. I wouldn't really, maybe I could start with another one. Maybe this one. Sounds okay. Like maybe I could do another sequence, maybe with this, like that style. Right? It's not about like, oh, this is the only sequence that'll work. It's what sounds best to you. And when I made this is what sounded best to me. So I hope you enjoyed this chop selection, because I don't do it that often anymore because the sounds just really aren't there for me to do it at a high level. I take like sections and stuff, but these are chops, some of these. It's pretty short, right? Short. They're not like micro chops. It all depends on what you want to accomplish, what the music gives you. Like, yeah, I could cut these smaller and make a different sound out of it if they were smaller chops. I kind of like having a little more music in the chop. That's just me. I know a dude I know, he chops it real small, like little sounds, and he does some dope shit with it. I've done that occasionally over the years, but I gravitate more towards this style because this is what I like overall. There's a little more music involved. And I'm very musical, so I like to have the music at the forefront, more prominent. He does some real choppy shit where it's like really good for an MC because it's not a lot of, it's kind of like just drums is the primary focus and like little sounds sprinkled throughout the sequence. It'll work really good for an artist. Allow them to get open if that artist is really got their shit together. But everybody's different. If I gave you these sounds, you wouldn't do this. You'd make something different too. So it all depends what you like, what your style is. Hope you enjoyed today's session. Keep tuning in. I'm going to keep trying to make these videos. All right, chill.